So there is a ton of talk about lightweight wheels and how much of an impact that has on performance. If you look online, you're going to find countless arguing threads left and right about 1 pound unsprung equals 4 pounds sprung equals 2 and all these different numbers being thrown around. If you don't know, unsprung weight is in reference to things like wheels, tires, brakes, stuff that is not supported by your suspension, like the weight of the car itself, your exhaust, things in the car, etc. Now, honestly, I don't care as much about the actual correlation of how much 1 pound of unsprung equals to normal sprung weight. I'm just going to try my best, keyword try, to get some real world performance results while minimizing as many variables as possible. That includes shifting, which is a huge variable. Launching the car, another huge variable. Going to the drag strip, well, now you're basically just saying 1 + 1 = 4 because you're combining both of those variables. The more track-oriented folks, it also has a big impact on handling and cornering, and I'm not really testing that out, which again is very hard because of all these variables, although I'm confident there will be an increase in overall performance in that aspect as well. So what I decided to do is do a pull in third gear from 30 to 75 miles per hour in my 124 Spider Abarth. It's a manual, so I'm just doing it in third gear, no shifting, no launching, as I'm trying to limit the variables. Now the factory Abarth wheels are really heavy at 22 pounds each. I did a factory third gear pull, I recorded the dash, I also used the Dragy app when I did that pull. Then a few weeks later, I put in a set of OZ Ultra Leggera or Ultra Leggera, which literally translates to ultra light. These weigh in at 16 pounds per wheel. That knocks off 6 pounds per wheel. That's a pretty good amount compared to the factory wheels, and that's a total of 24 pounds of unsprung weight. Then I did that exact same third gear pull, same location. I took all other variables into consideration as far as weather, humidity. They're all going to be noted for you, on screen, and you could take those into consideration as you please. So let's get into the results. Now the 124 Spider has most of its usable torque available around 2500 RPM in sport mode, so I set a few different custom settings in my Dragy, and those were to calculate some times from 35 to 70 miles per hour, 30 to 70, and 30 to 75. I know they sound very, very close, but I felt it would only help when comparing data, and it's right around that 2500 RPM basically, all the way to redline in third gear. So this is how the car looked, completely stock, bone stock, nothing touched yet, factory suspension, factory wheels, and then this is how it sits now, and that's how we did the test. It's got the Ibach Pro Kit springs, which should not have a big impact as far as this performance test goes. Most importantly, it's the OZ wheels. In this example here, I have them in a matte bronze, knocking off 6 pounds per corner. Again, 24 pounds total of unsprung weight. Now I also use my GoPro, tried recording the speedometer as best as possible with very similar angles, as you can tell. So we have completely stock on the left, and we have the same run, same location, same everything on the right with the OZ wheels. I'm going to show you this first, and then we're going to dive into the Dragy data with some of the other elements like weather, etc. that could have been a variable out of my control when doing this test. So I'm going to play it once through completely. It's going to start a little below 30 and go a little bit above 75, but the key is right there from 30 to 75. You're going to notice they both hit 30 at the same time. It's already being floored at that point, all the way up to 75. Let's play it once through, and then we'll kind of fine detail it and look into it. So let's move back a little bit. I'm actually going to lower the volume so it doesn't interfere with me speaking. Let's drag this up a little bit. So now if we look here, the most important thing that we're looking for is at 30 miles per hour. You're going to see that marker right there. So right around here, it's about halfway covered in both. And one more frame forward, they're both almost completely covered. You basically see just a hair of that white. So that's what tells me this is as close as I can get to keeping these identical. I already started flooring it right before this 30 mile per hour mark, and the second they hit 30, they both are halfway covered at 30. They both directly cover 30 right here. And then when we hit go, you're gonna see it go. And I'm gonna pause it a little bit now in between. Let's stop it at 40. So at 40, they're pretty similar. If we go to 50, you're going to see on the left, which is stock, it's a little bit below the right side already. Let's go to 60. At 60, again, you can see there's about 1 to 2 mile per hour difference, and upwards to 75. Again, just about the same, that 1-2 mile per hour difference. So just seeing this from 30 to 75, you already see a performance increase as far as acceleration goes in miles per hour. So take this for how you want. Like I said, I tried to minimize the variables as much as possible. There definitely seems to be a performance increase as far as acceleration goes by having lighter weight wheels. We're going to dive into a spreadsheet now that I made with the data from the Dragy app, as well as the Dragy app screenshots and some more information to take into consideration. Let's go over there right now. Okay, so here are the screenshots to the 3 different runs. We have 35 to 70, which is basically a 35 mile per hour increase or difference. We have 30 to 70, which is a 40, and then 30 to 75, which is a 45 mile per hour difference. Temperature, 45 degrees on all of these. They were all taken, obviously this was one single run, just so you know. It's one single run. I just set these different key points in the Dragy app for it to calculate. So what we're going to be looking at is the time in seconds, the slope. The slope is the increase or decrease in the road surface, and anything that is more than a -1 will be invalid. These are valid. If it's over a -1, then the laws of physics are giving you too much of an advantage and it would be considered invalid. So all of these are very similar. As you can see, they're within plus minus 0.2% slope. And I took this data and put it into a little bit of an easier visual to view, as well with some other, weather and stuff. So let's just dive over there real quick. So over here, we have the day that I did it, which was on November 25th. We have the Dragy temperature, which is 45. We also have my iPhone temperature that I double checked. It was also 45, and the humidity at that time of the run was 77%. We have the 35 to 70, 30 to 70, 30 to 75, the time and the slope. So then I also had some notes when I did that poll for myself. Basically, that was only my 3rd day with the car, which was true. This was my 3rd day with the car when I did that poll. Mods, completely stock. Gas tank was half full. Next up, obviously, same test with the new lighter wheels, which are the OZ Ultra Ligara, 16 pounds each. I brought Pro Kit springs, saving 6 pounds per corner, total of 24 pounds of unsprung weight. We're going to dive over into the same exact stats with the OZ wheels. So now we have the same stats, 3570, 3070, 3075. You will notice these two here say invalid because of low satellite. Again, this was the same exact pull. I went from just under 25, give or take under 30 miles per hour up until almost 80. It was one pull. So I don't know how this one could be valid and these two could be invalid when they're within a couple seconds of each other. Take it for what it is. I'm going to go off of these are valid as well. If you want to just go off of 35 to 70, fine by me. But when I do the comparison in a bit, you'll see they all do make sense. So now let's show you that sheet again over here. This was done on December 11th, so give or take, a couple weeks later or so. Temperature on the Dragy says 55, on the iPhone was 52, so it's a little bit warmer. Humidity 63, a little bit less. Slope almost the same, a little bit different. It was the same exact road, but of course, if I started hitting the gas, give or take 10, 15, 20, 30 feet of a difference, that could have affected the slope just a hair. And then some notes when I did that 3rd gear pull. Obviously, the mods on here were the OZ wheels and the iBox springs. The gas tank was just over half a tank, so just a little bit more than when I did it completely stock. So if you like what you're seeing here, with me trying to bring, as to the best of my ability, some real world results, be sure to subscribe. I'm going to be doing this again when I put the Phase 1 tune by Euro Compulsion on here. It's going to have a bunch of bolt-ons, a Stage 1 or Phase 1 tune as they call it. Be sure to comment below. Let me know what you think. If you like the way I'm putting these together, hit the like button if you enjoyed it, and please subscribe. You want to definitely see the next one. It's going to go over the tune, how much power we saw, what kind of difference. It's not going to be dynoed, but there are not a lot of people who dyno these, so I feel like this is the next best way to kind of see a performance increase and see if these mods are worth it or what it does, how it changes the car as far as performance and acceleration. Now, most importantly, let's go into the spreadsheet which compares the data side by side. So here we are. On the right side, we have stock, and on the left side, we have it with the OZ wheels. We have the date, we have the temperature. The OZ wheels, a little bit warmer. Humidity, a little bit less. Take that for what it is. It was within, about 2-3 weeks of each other. And the speed, time, and slope are all here, and you can see the difference. So from 35 to 70, which again was the only one that showed up valid for both, but you can see the difference from here. The times, as it goes down ever so slightly, they do make sense. I'm going with all of these basically as valid. Take it for what it is. You want to just go off at 35 to 70, do that as well. So 35 to 70, we have a little over 1/10 of a second difference. From 30 to 70, we have 1/3 of a second difference. And from 30 to 75, a little bit over 1/3 of a second difference. To me, these are huge results. This is just third gear at a maximum from 30 to 75 of a 45 mile per hour pull. The lowest one being 35 to 70 is only a 35 mile per hour difference, and you're seeing over 1/10 of a second just from 35 to 70. So imagine if you're on a drag strip and you're going from, a dead stop of 0 to your trap being, 100, 120, depending on how much power you're pushing and what car you're driving. That could add up to a lot more than just 1/10 of a second. At the track, same thing. Think about how many times you're going 35 to 70. Every time you're doing it, you're shaving off 1/10 of a second. And that's just 35 to 70. So imagine the broader aspect of this. So this is going to kind of conclude the video. If you ask me if lightweight wheels are worth it, I'm going to say yes. Don't forget the handling difference. I think people even say there's gas mileage increase because of the less weight. There's all these other things. I was just trying to do more of like acceleration, and without using a dyno or anything like that, I wanted to get more real world results. So I can say lightweight wheels are a perfect way to not only add some style to your car, but also to increase the overall performance of the car itself as well. Of course, if you go heavy, well, then you might look good, but you won't be increasing your performance. In this test, we were within 10 degrees of each other in each run, within about 15% humidity. That might balance each other out. The gas tank was very close. It was actually a little bit more on that second run. Like I said, take this into consideration as you want. I tried my best to limit the variables as much as possible. So if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button, share it if you would like. So leave a comment below. Let me know if you went with lightweight wheels, if you saw any performance increase, if you're now thinking about going with lightweight wheels, and what you thought overall about the video. Don't forget to subscribe, as I'll be doing more videos like this as well, while trying to limit the variables as much as possible. Next up, probably be the stock 124 Spider Abarth versus a tuned one. You definitely want to see that. Check out my other videos. I have a bunch of stuff. I have a mic'd up series where I mic up the exhaust and engine bay with both my car and other cars that I'm bringing into the channel. Always appreciate the support, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.